New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
Get ready to dive into a new world of online shopping with the Fins Tailgate. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just looking for the latest fashion trends, we've got you covered. With a wide variety of products from your favorite sports teams to stylish accessories and home decor, we're your one-stop shop for all things tailgate. Our easy-to-use website and hassle-free checkout process make shopping with us a breeze. Plus, with frequent sales and discounts, you won't want to shop anywhere else. So come on in and join the party at the Fins Tailgate, your new go-to destination for all things tailgate.
Attention. May I have your attention? This is a public service announcement by the TFTG. Late Night Exhale. It's back. Saturdays, 10 p.m. Be there.
I'ma get it, you know I be on the way. Yeah. You know I be on the way. Man on a mission, I'ma get it, you know I be on the way. Yeah, it's all hard, ain't no fear here. You ain't giving it to all, you steer clear. Never beat, I've been down and I reappear. You got some money on the line, you better put it here. Rolling in and doing that work. Check priorities, I'm doing that first. Checks big and I'm sure that.
Good morning.
Good morning, Fin fans. That's right. It's a brand new Top of the Tailgate. Today is Thursday, August 17th. That is right. It is August 17th. How's it everybody doing? Good morning, good day, good afternoon. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe and turn on the notifications. No, Michael K., I'm not about to have a stroke. I'm just excited. It's Thursday, one day out for the weekend, and I just got paid because that's how we do. I'm just joking around. How is everybody doing? I hope everything is good. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. While we're at it, check out some of our other content we got up in here. We got El Capitan and the TFTG show. You got Coffee and a Cup of Color. You got myself, Top of the Tailgate. You got KP, Lewis, Shake Money doing shows all over the place. We got crypto in the house now. We got full head of steam. A lot of content coming your way, people. Do not forget, TFTG is here. We have arrived. We have a lot of people on board, and with full head of steam, get ready for an interesting brand new season of the Miami Dolphins. I cannot wait. Let's keep going. Yeah, it feels like late night exhale. Oh my God, I'm kind of hyped right now. Anyway, let's keep it going. We accept Cash App, Venmo if you'd like to donate to the channel. We also accept Super Chats, Super Stickers, you name it. We appreciate you. Anybody that donates, we really appreciate all of you. We wouldn't be here without you. We also have memberships, 3 different memberships. We have Amigos, Familia, and MVP. They give you different things that you can get, everything from cool emojis to different content. You get exclusive content as well as content before anybody else does. So definitely look into that. It's a really easy way to donate to the channel as well, if you like the content. And also, shout out to our affiliates. Let's not forget them. We got Fanatics, officially licensed everything. That's right, people. Officially licensed everything, as they say. Officially licensed everything. In fact, I'll show you something that I just got from Fanatics. and I'll take the thing off. You saw, I got a new hat. This is the official sideline hat, which I didn't know, Color and everyone else, that it comes in black and gray. So I ended up getting this from Fanatics using our link below. Got the same deal, same everything that everyone else did. You know, all it does is by using our link, it gives us a pat on the back and it gives you guys a, hey, good job. Thank you. We know who sent you. We really appreciate it. But you get all the same deals. So shout out to Fanatics. Shout out to Backroom Collections. Backroom Collections, they have some really awesome artwork, canvas artwork that's customizable, not just for Miami Dolphins, but other sports as well. They got some other cool accessories too you can check out. And if you need the energy to watch all the shows that we are going to be putting out over this season, which I can't wait, check out Doobie Energy Drink. It's all smash, no crash. You get all the energy that's all natural, loaded with vitamins, minerals that benefit the brain. A lot less of that, byproduct stuff that's harmful for the body. And supposed to be, you don't get the jittering and stuff that people do with other energy drinks. And if you don't take my word for it, check out Shake Money's show. He does reviews all the time. He has a video that's specifically for the review, and he likes the stuff, and he says it's pretty good as well. So check out Doobie Energy Drink. If you'd like to save 10% off there or at Backroom Collection, use code #TFTG at checkouts. All right. So let's keep it moving. I'm going to introduce my co-host of the most. Everybody knows him, the guy who has the best voice in all of YouTube. Let's be real. And you know what? I kind of like this. I think in light of what happened over this past weekend, I'm going to give you some dance music, bro. There we go. Get some dance pop going. I took Color to Twin Peaks, and he was shaking it in front of the waitress. What's up, Color?
What's up, Ali? That's right. I was shaking it that night, wasn't I?
Yeah. In fact, I think we got some of it live on the TFTG show a little bit.
Yeah. The one we can't. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't watch it anymore, but that's all good. That's all good. So Color, I'm kind of hyped, bro. I think that day of rest from yesterday helped out a lot. It cleared everything out. It kind of calmed my nerves and everything. And whatnot, and I feel energized. How you feeling, bro? How you doing?
I'm pretty good, man. Pretty good. A little tired this morning, but it is what it is. So you had you're saying that you had I was gonna say take off Tuesday, but yesterday was Wednesday, right?
Yesterday was Wednesday, yes.
Yeah, so you had a walk off Wednesday. Yeah, you were walk out Wednesday.
Walk out Wednesday.
I'm not working today.
Yeah, I know. In fact, I've been thinking about this. We might have to think about our schedule a little bit during the season, Color, because we're supposed to be going Monday through Friday with the morning show. But I also have, I don't want to forget Broken Takes. And I also have Late Night Exhale on Saturdays. So I don't want to burn myself out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
fortunately, since there's so much to talk about when the games fire up, it'll be a lot easier to supplement you on that for myself. So with a nice coffee and a cup of Color coming at you a little more regular once more of the action picks up.
Yeah, so that is definitely a good thing. And in addition, maybe we can supplement it every once in a while with a Broken Take episode. Mm-hmm. So because those I can have a Top of the Tailgate and a Broken Take recorded in the same day, and just have the Broken Take, air the next day. You know what I mean?
Ali wants to make sure he's in front of y'all every day. He's gonna.
Well, I mean, come on, look at this pretty face, bro. I know I got women lined up to Wahoo trying to, no, I'm just kidding. Don't tell my wife that. Don't tell my wife that. I'm just kidding. Just
Too
kidding.
late.
Yeah. Luckily, she doesn't watch the show very much, but that's okay. No, she watches the show. I'm just kidding. And babe, I love you. I'm just kidding. All right. So let's keep this going, Color. So make sure you hit like and subscribe. As I said, as it scrolls across the bottom, definitely make sure you hit like and subscribe. We've been getting a lot of comments lately, Color. I'm very impressed. Everybody's actually commenting in the comments, right?
That's cool.
Definitely cool. So let's start off as we always do.
Oh, and appreciate y'all that are in chat, watching this, because we, everybody knows what's going on right now. But it's good to see y'all still want to come here and listen to us every morning while we're waiting out this hiatus, I guess you'd call it. I just want to say hi to myself, who is probably chatting it up with you guys right now. And so there you go. Sorry, Ollie.
No, it's okay. But what I was gonna say is that it's currently what 6:12 in the morning. So 6:12 in the morning, the current weather report, it's a high of 88 degrees in Miami today, low of 78, 47% chance of rain. You have winds coming from the south at 10 to 15 miles per hour, and they're saying the chance of rain is 50% actually. So you got a 50% chance of rain. It has been kind of hectic here, Colin. It's been like here in Port St. Lucie, it's hot as hell. And then I went outside to throw something in a trash can, walked bit inside, and I felt like I was in a hot tub. I was soaking wet with hot water, except it was my sweat.
Oh yeah, it's been brutal, man. I step out on the porch for 5 minutes, and it's like I come back in and I'm shivering because I'm soaking wet in the AC.
Yeah, so yeah, it's really crazy how hot it's been, and I implore everyone to make sure that they're drinking water, not just water though, not just water. People think that all you should drink is water and that's it, right? Yeah, that can hydrate the body, but when you sweat, especially when you're outside working, maybe you're at a theme park or one of those outlet malls where it's all pretty much outside mall area and you're sweating to death in line. When you sweat, you're burning off all your electrolytes that are in your system. So you need to replenish those electrolytes and everything. I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you what I've read, just so you know. But I've heard that it's good to actually drink something that provides electrolytes on top of the water.
Hey, I'm not a doctor. I've just seen a lot of Gatorade commercials.
Yeah. Yeah, or Powerade or some of these other ones.
Right.
In fact, the one I'm drinking, the one I drink today, I don't drink Gatorade anymore, really. I'm drinking something called Body Armor. Have you heard of it?
You were telling me about it.
Yeah, Body Armor is pretty cool. They have like 13 different flavors. Each flavor is supposed to benefit the body in a different way. The one I'm drinking primarily is the strawberry banana, and it has loads of electrolytes and vitamin B and other stuff that's good for the body. And it helps keep your body hydrated. That's what it's called. Super hydration.
Sure,
is what it's
sure.
called.
What you want to stay away from is licking salt tablets. I mean, don't do that. And if you're gonna do that, make sure you're still replenishing your water. It's not going to replace your water. That's the danger of it. Is it makes you feel okay, so people don't drink their water. You know what I mean? And they just lick the salt tablet, and then next thing you know, they're having a stroke. So don't do that. Just drink water, drink some electrolyte-filled liquid of some kind, like Gatorade, or as Ali said, Body Armor, Powerade, all the ones. Just make sure you're staying hydrated.
Definitely.
Not a good thing.
Definitely. So, yeah, man. It's just make sure you're staying hydrated, especially when here in Florida, every day is like record-breaking heat. It's unbelievable, Colin. Unbelievable. Let's keep it moving, Color.
And for those of you that obviously our fellow fans in Texas already probably know this, but for the ones who have traveled over to Texas from Florida to watch training camp, make sure you're forcing yourself to drink water, because your sweat, it'll be so dry sometimes your sweat will evaporate before you know you're sweating. And as such, you don't realize you are actually losing water. So keep the water going if you're out there visiting in Texas.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Color. So let's keep it moving. I got a hard stop at the 2-hour mark at 8 a.m., bro. That's what the wife has told me. So I got a hard stop at that point. So we got to keep it moving, Color. I'm sorry.
Is that the same wife? No, I'm just kidding.
You're just not supposed to know about the other one, Color. God, what's wrong with you? Giving away all my secrets. Just kidding. It's a morning show, man. It's supposed to be family friendly. What's going on?
Well, the more the merrier. I'm kidding, bro.
Oh my god!
Let's move on.
What kind of shows do you watch at night? No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's keep it going. So, coffee of the week. Let's not forget about coffee of the week color. I got a new coffee. Now, in light of me drinking Great Value, I wanted to compare it to other, other companies such as competitors and their brand name coffee that they make themselves. So I got Publix Premium Coffee. And I understand why they call it premium. I will say, in comparison, it is a little bit more expensive than Great Value. You're talking about maybe like $4.50 for a 12 pack, about 12 pack of Great Value versus getting 12 of them for like $7.99, right? But in light of that, I actually got this buy one get one. So technically, the Publix Premium right now is cheaper though. All right, just to be on the fair side, right? Based on that. So, why they call it premium, in my opinion, is that this one, which I'm drinking right now, is the premium hazelnut. Just so you know, it has the aroma is a little bit stronger. You actually smell the aroma. It's not just the taste. I think it's a bold taste. It's not like, even though it's a medium roast, it's not like too bold and it's not too medium. It's somewhere in between there, right? And I'm just using just cream, no sugar. It's not sweet cream. It's just regular cream is what I'm using. So I don't know. I think it tastes pretty good color. If you want a good coffee, but you don't want to spend top dollar and you don't want the Great Value, get Premium Publix. That's my opinion.
Right, and while they do have their own Colombian blend, I checked them out myself, Ali. The regular, medium roast blend can tend to still taste a little bit like a bean from the Western Hemisphere. Just so you're aware that it still has sort of a Colombian flavor to it, even if it's not labeled Colombian. Alternatively, they do have a actual sub flavor of Colombian. So there's that. Is that all? You had anything left on that, or is it gonna be your new go-to, or what's going on there, man?
It'll be, if the price is right, I might get it from time to time. The problem is, it's like finding ones I haven't tried. I've already tried quite a few new ones here on the show. So the ones I was trying to even try one that you haven't even tried. And the next two companies I have, which I am gonna pick one and just go with it. It's more of your South American and your Latin American style of coffee. Like, I'm still working on getting the Puerto Rican coffee. And there's what is it? Cafe El Busto, I think it's called.
Or Bustelo.
Bustelo, and then there's Guatella, I think it's called, something like that. Yeah, those are the three I haven't tried. I want to try those. I've already tried Barney's, and you even gave a Barney review here. Or actually, I did. I think I was the one that did Barney's. You did Pete's Coffee, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I haven't tried that one
Pete's. I did 8 o'clock coffee, I believe. But
Seattle's best. Come on, you can't say no to Seattle's best. I like Seattle's best.
But I will say that I, on the other hand, have scored found a nice little odd gem that I didn't even know existed. With what I'm drinking this morning. So I was in Dollar General, because Dollar General, for some odd reason, has the McCafe for like way more affordable price. Like, their standard price is like under $10, like $9.50, and it's quite often on sale for like $6.50. Now, Publix is still rocking the full retail on the McCafe at $11.99.
Even at Walmart, it's expensive.
Right. Although their 24-pack at Walmart it starts to get better. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
The thing of it is, though, so I was in Dollar General fully intending to pick up a box of McCafe.
Yeah.
and I stumble across a box of IHOP coffee. International House of Pancakes. Yeah, IHOP. And I'm like, oh, they're jumping their name into the store shelf market now, like everybody else, right? Putting their stamp on everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a medium roast. Get this, regular price, no sale, $6.50.
How many?
10. You do get less than 12, but Dunkin' Donuts 10 count is $9.99, so, or more, you know what I mean? If it's not on sale, you know what I mean? So you're getting a really pretty good deal there. So you'd get 20 of them for $13, you know?
Well,
anyway, so it's a medium roast. It's an Arabica bean blend, which I would imagine means it's from the eastern side of the world. Kind of what I tend to prefer just in taste. So it's gonna compare to something like the McCafe or the Dunkin' or the Tim Hortons. And compare, it does well, Ali. I'm hard pressed to even realize I'm not drinking my normal McCafe coffee.
So it's just like the Tim Hortons, eh?
Yeah, pretty A. Yeah, pretty A. Pretty much A. I mean, so I'm quite impressed with it, even though I thought maybe it might just be,
how does it compare
kind of gimmicky and then biting off their name, you know what I mean? Because I don't personally, and this isn't to throw shade on them, they make great scrambled eggs, but I don't really care for IHOP's coffee at the restaurant. You know what I mean? I always think it's too light a blend. Like they like they're not. I don't know. A lot of restaurants tend to. They tend to regulate the amount of grains they use to save. You know what I mean? So you never know.
Yeah, that's funny you mentioned that, because I was going to ask you, how does it compare to the McCafe?
Like I said, I'm hard pressed to tell that that's what I'm drinking. Like my cup right now. Like if you gave me a blind taste test, I would probably tell you it's McCafe.
Okay, because here's what I was about to say: McCafe coffee tastes better buying the Keurig cup or the bag of coffee grains, okay, than going to a McDonald's and getting the coffee.
This is true.
I do not know. I can tell you my experience, because I know I'm not saying it's at every place, because there are some places that they may make a good thing of coffee. But around here, I feel like I'm having coffee with my water. Right.
I got you.
You understand?
And I can tell you, and I can tell you, every McDonald's I've been to for coffee has made me a bad cup.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's not exclusive to, like, it's not, in other words, I would say that out of all the ones, like when you're talking about, like, the comparison of store shelf version compared to the actual restaurant, I would say Dunkin' does way better off the store shelf than their store these days. I also obviously would think IHOP does, but McDonald's, on the other hand, I can usually get a really, like, it may not taste exactly the same, but it's really good at the store, in my opinion, generally speaking. So like I said, I can get a bad cup if it's the wrong time of morning or day or whatever, and the wrong employee set is on or something. Sure. And you obviously are having kind of that more of a consistent failure at the ones you're visiting. So, or however many there are, I don't know. But so I wouldn't necessarily say that yours is the normal experience, in my opinion. Of course, I could start getting every single cup from there bad just because I jinxed myself now. You know what I mean? But but at the same time, both are still good. I still like Dunkin' from the store too. I mean, from the Dunkin' Donuts actual establishment. But there's something about, like, the perfect measure in that Keurig cup to me, dude. That, like, it's just perfect, man. The number of grains, everything, they've got it down to a science to where you're absolutely making the best cup that this particular grain could taste like, And that's why I can't get off of it. I've thought about budget wise. It's probably wise to go back to like regular brew coffee, because of how much of it I drink,
Mhm.
and all that. But it's just too easy and it tastes too good, man. You know what I mean? What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I got
But
you.
I will give. I really am impressed by this IHOP Keurig coffee that I found at Dollar General.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for your review, Color. Every week we're bringing, reviews of coffee to you. If you have a coffee you'd like us to review, please put it in the comments below. We will review it. I will end up buying it, or Color will end up buying it. We'll try it out.
Well, the problem now, Ollie, is there's not going to be any IHOP coffee available for me for the next 3 months because everybody's going to go out and buy it now.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. I have some interesting brands elsewhere I could also look at. Do you have an Ollie's near you, bro?
An Ollie's or Aldi's?
Ollie's, Ollies.
Man, that is
It's
really
kinda,
familiar, but I don't know if I
well,
know them from somewhere else or from around here. I don't remember.
you might know them from Missouri area, possibly.
Oh, I think you had told me
They're
about them
Ollie's.
before.
Ollie's is it's kind of like an Odd Lots or a Big Lots, but
Okay.
they're like super packed with low costing stuff, and some of it's really good. Don't get me wrong, but I know, like, because they're popular up north, they sell everything from carpets to flooring to books to electronics to toys, coffee. They sell food there. I mean, you'd be surprised. Well, they have full 110 boxes of cups, bro, of like
Wow.
whatever flavor you want for like $20.
Wow,
You know what I
biggest
mean?
I saw was 64 at Walmart, man. That's
110, right?
110.
And then they have all different flavors, all different companies and stuff. So I might actually go there to try some of these off brands I've never heard of before.
Right.
Especially since they're low costing, doesn't cost very much. But I
Right.
wanted to actually try it to see if it's even worth a damn. But you can get anything from breakfast blend, donut shop, Colombian, French roast,
Well, that's the
blonde
other one you
roast.
can start running through, Ollie, is all the Green Mountain flavors.
Yeah,
Because they have a
yeah.
couple that are not like, different sweet flavor. Like they'll have a Colombian, or they have like a Nantucket blend, which, in my opinion, the Nantucket blend is the one I go to that tastes similar to the ones I normally drink. You know what I mean? Instead of their other one, instead of their donut shop one, ironically.
Gotcha.
But,
All right, Color, let's keep it moving because I got to hard stop in
Sure
2
thing.
hours. So let's shout out to Cause for Cleats, right? Today's Cause for Cleats is teamgleason.org. Team Gleason. All right. If you want to know about Team Gleason, just so you know. Steve Gleason played for the New Orleans Saints from 2000 to 2008 as a counterculture athlete who spent his offseason adventuring a third world country. He will always be remembered for his blocked punt on the night that the Louisiana Superdome reopened for the first time after Hurricane Katrina. In January 2011, Steve was diagnosed with ALS, considered a terminal neuromuscular disease. Beyond his faith that there is a solution to heal, it is his mission to show that patients can not only live but thrive after the diagnosis. In doing so, he hoped to inspire others to do the same. With that in mind, Steve and his wife, Michelle, I'm sorry, I apologize for that, formed Team Gleason to help him accomplish those goals and more. So Steve's story and mission have been told countless times throughout the media, and soon to be released documentaries, the NFL Network, ESPN, HBO, ABC, and the list goes on. And many local outlets have all been inspired to share Team Gleason's story in many ways. He was featured in 2 Peter King interviews during the Super Bowl pregame show, NFL's A Football Life, Good Morning America, HBO, and many, many more. Let's see here. I just wanted to find more about what they do. Give me 1 second. Here it is. So Team Gleason has provided over 15 million in assistive technology for people living with ALS to help them continue to live purposeful and productive lives. A core element within the Team Gleason mission is to provide advanced technology for people with ALS, empowering them to continue living purposefully and productively. Team Gleason has partnered with leaders in technology and innovation to help accelerate not only providing advanced devices, but to create new and more empowering ways to live with ALS. As a beneficial in technology, we provide a support, or support is we believe more can be done. Let's see here. What else do they do? They are also developing things in home automation. They're developing expanded tools to assist home automation. Alexa, for instance. People would benefit from these interfaces and devices are people with several physical challenges, like those not only with ALS, but also MS, Parkinson's, SMA, spinal cord injury, and veterans. My mother has MS, so I kind of see where the Alexa or a Google, what do they call that, like Hey Google devices and stuff, that will help. You know what I mean? Just to give you an example.
You realize you just activated everybody's assistant that's listening to us right now.
I don't have a Google, so she didn't hear me.
It's real
I'm not
sensitive
cheating
to
on
that
you,
word.
Alexa. Don't worry.
It is real sensitive to that word. Just saying, like even words that sound like it will activate it. Sometimes it's crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry, didn't mean to take away from your report there, bro. Just continue.
Yeah. So they also play a big part with communication devices such as voice banking. Voice banking is a way of PALS to create a synthesized or computerized version of their natural speaking voice. The benefit to voice banking is that PALS can use their personal synthesized voice with their speech generating device. Thus, their SGD voice sounds very similar to their physical voice.
So is this the? I'm sorry to interrupt, Ollie. Is this the same thing that Hawking was dealing with?
I believe he had. I think so. Let me verify that. Give me 1 second.
And while you're doing that, the reason I ask is because we all know he spoke through a speech synthesizer, and it would just be neat. It would have been neat because rest in peace, Hawking. You did great for us. Time to lay down and have a rest.
Mm-hmm.
But if he'd have still been around today with that kind of technology, we could have maybe been able to hear his voice again. You know what I mean? Spoken by him through a machine. You know what I mean? Because his was still sort of, computerized a little bit, or digitized, I should say.
Definitely. I think he had something either similar or the same thing. I'm trying to find. Yeah, he did have ALS. That's exactly what it was. So Stephen Hawking, a genius in his time, amazing physicist and whatnot.
What a great example too of how this sort of stuff and you save these people, because one of them you never know could outdo Stephen Hawking. I mean, the amount of people for the people that have never watched the movie about him, I've never even watched the movie about him because I don't need to, you know what I mean? But for those that have either watched the movie or about him or know about him, or for those who haven't and know nothing about Stephen Hawking, the very device you're listening to us on right now, would have taken a lot longer to invent without people like Stephen Hawking. Bet that.
Yeah,
like
100%.
what we know about the universe due to this man probably rivals Einstein.
Definitely. I don't want to take anything away from Stephen Hawking, but I kind of want to focus on the organization color.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to point that out. I wanted to point out how it can actually benefit, like what this is a real example of, what I mean?
I think that's a great example of someone that still lived a productive and prosperous life, even dealing with ALS.
To the extreme,
you know what I mean?
exactly. To the extreme kind of productive life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he's somebody that's going to be known in history for years and decades and generations to come. You know what I mean? He's going to be when we get down
perfectly
to
abled color is dead and gone and forgotten about. Stephen Hawking is still going to be remembered.
You know how we talk about Galileo and other what do they call that? What's the word I'm looking for, color?
Scholars, philosophers,
philosopher. That's the word I'm looking for. Philosophers like Galileo and people along that line. We talk about them. They're from ancient times. Well, Stephen Hawking will be among those type of people down the road. Like, you won't believe like the stuff that
absolutely,
because by then most of the stuff that he's talked about or at least theorized will have either been verified or confirmed. And he's going to be the one.
I mean, just about everything we invent, can be traced in some kind of degree of separation to the things we learned from his theories and research.
Yeah. So in addition to technology that Team Gleason helps out with, they also have caregiver services. So people that have ALS, there's a lot of issues. You may have mobility issues, speaking issues, various different things that you may not be able to do everything yourself. Someone may have to assist you, such as caregivers. They have services to benefit caregivers. Let it be a webinar or virtual town hall meetings for them to ask questions, to get other resources and support and whatnot. So that's something they also offer. And in addition, Team Gleason Adventure, they go on adventures. People with ALS, they are able to, still go on trips and different things, to still have experiences. I've seen people with ALS go hiking before, to give you an example, or go to somewhere exotic and still be able to see everything like they were before. So they offer, stuff like that. They share their stories. They help people with, services and whatnot to, help them live a meaningful life, essentially. Yeah. There are different events, different ways to volunteer or donate. If you have questions about Team Gleason, go to teamgleason.org. Again, that's teamgleason.org. Again, we don't have any affiliation with any of these organizations that we shout out. We just pick a random one and we shout them out. I asked you guys to put some in the community chat. The community comments section. Definitely put it there, and we'll look into it and see if we can shout them out if we haven't already. Yep. But trying to just shout them out, and if anybody needs assistance with any of these things, they can look into it. But if you have ALS or need assistance for somebody that has ALS, check out teamgleason.org. It might help you, might give you some resources or some idea of what you need to do and where to move forward with. So
hang in there and don't give up.
Yeah, especially if you're a caregiver. Being a caregiver is not the easiest thing. I know 2 people that are caregivers for people that have a different condition, and I've seen the strain that it takes on them and the toll of the mental health and the energy and everything it takes to be able to care for them. Just hang in there. Don't give up, but don't be afraid to ask for help. That's number one. And that's what these organizations do. They might provide some help, and they may not always have the answer, but they might give you a resource that will help you find that answer. So that's something to think about as well.
Right on. Good job.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. What in the world, Color? What in the world is our next segment?
I have no idea, because I don't get much around the world these days. So tell us, what in the world?
What in the world is going on in sports today? Now it's no longer about sports or athletes, Color. It's celebrities, and now it's battle of the CEOs. Elon Musk. Have you heard about something about this? Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg have agreed to have a cage fight. MMA style cage fight. Have you heard about this?
Yes, I have. I certainly have. It's been all over. All I can say is it's all fun and games till somebody gets hurt. Just saying. Anyway.
Yeah, listen, I will say something about Elon Musk. He does not invest something unless he knows there's a payoff, right? And maybe I know he's been training in jiu-jitsu and stuff like that, and maybe he's a master at it, and we don't, you said it yourself privately that the dog that you think you're going to sleep on might have the hardest bite. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is he's kind of like that. You don't think he's the guy that doesn't fit the picture, and all of a sudden he whoops your ass, kind of a thing.
And it happens a lot. It happens a lot in MMA. Like when you're looking at the tail of the tape and you look at one of the guys and you're like, that dude literally looks scared already. And that dude ends up being the guy that puts an absolute whooping on the other guy. You know what I mean? You're like, oops, I missed that one.
But Color, it doesn't end there. So Mark Zuckerberg, on the other hand, has been actually taking this really seriously. Have you seen his workout videos? He's doing massive different workouts, MMA training, and I want to say it's 4 or 5 different types of martial arts.
Exactly. But he's putting the videos out there. Right?
I saw him with taking pictures next to 2 MMA fighters, and it's him in the middle. And then he looks shredded, just like he's one of them. I'm like, holy shit.
And he's putting all these videos out. It's like, again, back to what we just talked about. Why does he need to show us all that? Who's he trying to convince, us or him? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
Elon ain't putting out no training videos and all that saying, look at me.
So now Elon Musk announced that it's going to take place in the Coliseum because they were trying to figure out a location, right? So
you mean the Oakland Coliseum? Or
no, not the Oakland Coliseum.
No, really?
The Coliseum in Rome. The one in Rome.
The Coliseum.
Where the gladiators used to fight, Color.
Wow.
Where the gladiators used to go one-on-one. Not only is that where he says it's going to be, he's gone off and supposedly got the minister of entertainment. I forget what it's called, like the sports minister in Italy's approval. He's gotten all these governmental people in his pocket saying they've already approved of it and everything. Mark Zuckerberg says that they haven't finalized it yet, but
did they ask the emperor? I mean,
Are you talking about the Pope?
Well, I guess, I guess these days, right?
I don't know. All I know is if Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg are having the cage match where the gladiators used to fight, right? That means the owner of the guy who created Amazon, what's his name?
That would be Jeff Bezos.
What's his name? Jeff Bezos is going to be in the emperor's seat, and he's going to stand up when in the box well, you know what I'm talking about. Right. He's going to sit there, and when whoever is on top of the other and he looks up at him, he's going to give the thumbs up or thumbs down.
Right.
That's what's going to happen. So you have 3 of the most richest people in the world, in the same area. So,
wow.
No, I don't know if Jeff Bezos is going to do that, but imagine if that was the case. I'm just trying to make light of it. You know what I mean?
That would be funny. They'll have their wives sitting up there.
Yeah, probably drinking mimosas or something.
Yeah, there'll be a big spectacle. Who gets to sit in the emperor's box? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think Elon's married, is he?
I don't know. Probably. I guess not. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll have to see about that. But we'll see. We'll see if it's Amber Heard up there. Supposedly they have a special relationship of some kind. Just saying.
And hopefully the plebeians in the front row will start disrobing themselves during the match, like back in the day.
Oh my God, dude. You're so bad. This is a morning show. Come on, Color. Come on. Yeah, reel you back from last night. All right. So that was kind of interesting. I found that was something I read that was really interesting. Let's keep it going with this. What in the world, though, right? So big Super Bowl news. This came out today around 7:55 p.m. supposedly. I don't know. It might have been sooner than that, but that's where I got this from off of Twitter. This is being reported. Supposedly, they tried to offer Taylor Swift a deal to headline the halftime show at the Super Bowl. But don't worry, Color. Don't worry, Color, because she declined.
Oh, wow, good.
So we don't have to worry about listening to Taylor Swift.
We won't have to worry about setting our alarm to wake back up for the second half.
Yeah. Well, I think she declined respectfully because she was afraid that Travis Kelce would come on the stage and ask her out again. I think that's basically what happened. He got declined already. I mean, she didn't want to have to be on live TV to decline him again. I mean, jeez.
Wow.
No, that's not my Super Bowl prediction, but
And by the way, I was just trying to find an egregious way to use the word plebeian.
I know. I'm messing with you.
So somebody was telling me the other night that I like to use that word a lot. Like I just seem to find a way to use it as much as I can.
Here, the thing is, people at home may not know what that word means too.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways, let's keep it going with the world of sports. It's kind of interesting. So another interesting thing that happened. We're gonna hit the NFL now. This hits the NFL directly. So yesterday, Raiders defensive end Max Crosby spoke about the training camp fight that he had with Cam Akers. He got what he got, according to Max Crosby. An old rivalry surfaced during the joint practice between Rams and the Raiders on Wednesday in Southern California. Rams running back and Raiders defensive end Max Crosby got into a fracas when Crosby attempted to punch the ball out of Akers' hand at the end of the play. Akers didn't take too kindly to Crosby's try-hard finish to the rep, and despite a significant size difference, Akers stands 5'10", while Crosby is 6'5". The running back let Crosby know of his displeasure, sparking a skirmish in which punches were thrown between the two. A melee ensued, with both teams clashing on the field before being separated. Rams coach Sean McVay sent Akers to the shower and kicked him out of practice color.
Wow.
Damn. Crosby,
that's what happens when you punch down to your opponent.
While Crosby, just listen to this. While Crosby, having no locker to be sent to since the visiting Raiders bus to practice, sat out the rest of the team period of practice on the sideline. So he got sent to the corner while the other one got sent home.
Wow.
Holy shit.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
And Crosby says, so I was just doing what I do, and he didn't like it. So he got what he got. It is what it is.
Right.
That's funny.
By the way, I think you sorely underestimate the TFTG audience, bro. Our audience ain't from one of those janky other YouTubers out there. Who will remain nameless. Our audience is actually smart. I'm pretty sure all of them know what the word plebeian means.
Okay, all right. Well, I don't know. I know
I'm just
some
messing
kids
with you, man. I'm just messing with you.
Okay. Well, no, it's not. I'm not saying that they're not smart. I mean, I just think that unfortunately, we have some Buffalo Bills fans around here that just need to get a little more education.
You're right.
That's all.
You're right. Well, I figured that's what was stamped on their driver's license. But we digress.
No. I was just saying, and you know what I meant.
Yeah, Buffalo fans are dumb. That's what we're saying. That's right.
All right. Color, hold it down
Good
for 2
morning,
seconds.
Mike. Okay. What's that,
good
Ollie?
morning to you. Hold it down for 2 minutes.
Sure thing.
I got to check on my kid who just woke up. I'll be right back.
Ooh, awesome. I get 2 whole minutes, guys and gals. So how's everybody doing this lovely Thursday morning where it is really hot? And of course, we forgot the TFTGnetwork.com traffic report, which is school's in session. Traffic absolutely is horrendous. And I don't even need to look at the report to know it. So if you're heading down the back streets, get off of them as quick as you can and stay out of the neighborhoods where there's schools. And please obey the school zone speed limits. We don't want anybody running over our children. They're there for a reason. And I also want to point out, unless the Florida law has changed, I have to look at the driver's handbook. It's been many moons. But if the road is separated by a 5-foot or wider median, does not have to be raised, You do not have to stop for the yellow bus in the oncoming lane. However, if you are required to stop for the bus, do it. And that's all I got to say for the TFTGnetwork.com traffic report. Keep your distance, wear your seatbelt, obey the school zone, the speed limits, and enjoy your commute to work. In the meantime, the Dolphins are going to win. We will be looking at the Mike McDaniel press conference a little later, time permitting, of course. And we're rolling on about the 51st minute or so, 53rd minute. So please hit the like button, hit the share, tell everybody you know about TFTG. Get them over here to chop it up this early with you. We know it's early. You guys we're growing, you know. We started off with 100, maybe 200. We're starting to get people watching it in replay, getting up into the 300 range. We're starting to see a lot more of you show up as the morning wakes up in the chat, and we appreciate every one of you. We will probably, as a service announcement, while Ali's away, and I don't really have any Dolphins talk to talk about right now because it's so early.
We got a lot to talk about, Color. We got a lot to talk about.
The network should be back doing full live shows. We're projecting by Saturday. We are truly sorry for the inconvenience, but that inconvenience has happened because we were trying to bring you the best and most up to date.
What do you mean this show isn't
could.
live, Color? What are you talking about? We're always live.
Oh, I didn't say it wasn't.
I'm live in my sleep.
I wasn't saying it wasn't. I'm saying we will be back to live streaming Saturday, 100%. That's all I was saying.
I know.
We'll let them figure out what shows aren't live. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's all
but
good.
we look. In all honesty, we always try to bring you the most up to date, cutting edge, upfront content, and we kind of broke a few of the rules doing it and took a little punishment for you. It's not crazy, you know. They've been fair with us, so we're just serving it out, you know, and trying to bring you some content. You know what I mean? And let's just say the weather report and the traffic report are still valid. Go ahead, Ollie.
All right, so it's time for some football, Color.
Sure thing.
All right, so let's start off because we have a lot to talk about. All right. Let's first talk about my little clippings of the day that I took from last night, and then we'll also go over some articles, hopefully, and we can squeeze in a video from Mike McDaniel. Okay?
Sure thing, but
so let's keep it going. So that being said, some headlines in the news, not really headlines, but some things that were interesting. Yeah, they're kind of headlines, some of it. First off, this isn't a cause for cleat, which is one we will talk about at some point. I have not done this one yet. I guess I should because it's a Miami Dolphin. But the Tua Foundation. So in wake of the Maui wildfires, our community needs us more than ever. Stand with Tua in showing that Aloha spirit is unbreakable. 100% of all donations will go directly support those affected in Hawaii. Alofa Atu. Hashtag Maui wildfires. So you can go to, if you look up Tua Foundation on Twitter, or just look up Tua Foundation, they'll have links all over the place where you can donate. And just to give you an update on that, they're up to $76,693.
wow.
592 supporters have donated to raise money for the victims. So they're just, try to get the word around to help out. I don't know if you guys saw what happened in Maui. They still do not know what the cause of the fires was, from my understanding. I thought it, may have been a volcano, but it's not. From my understanding, they don't know. But the whole area is unreal, bro. It looks like you've seen something in a movie where, like the entire island went to blaze, and what you're looking at is like ashes in the aftermath. You know what I mean? It actually looks like something you've seen in a movie. It's almost unreal. You know what I mean? And it's sad. People without their homes, kids without their homes, without schools, without anything. From what I also heard is that the power went out at some point that stopped the fire hydrant that was pumping because their pumps were electronic.
Wow.
They didn't have the power to pump the water to stop the fires in time, some of it. And that caused a major issue as well. There's huge losses there. So we're not, if every Miami Dolphin fan just donates $10, that would go a long way.
I mean, think about this. If everybody that goes to the stadium on a sold-out football Sunday gave $1, that'd be another $75,000.
Yep.
And
definitely.
It's the Tua Foundation. Shout out to Tua and his foundation. He's had it set up here the moment he got into the door in Miami, pretty much. They do great work, and and he's a great face for that because, let's face it, he's a great guy. And for what anybody thinks about the way he plays, for what I've ever said about the way he plays, I have absolutely but the utmost respect for a guy like Tua, his family, and the way he was raised. Great foundation. And I'd imagine, not that it matters, but to remind others to support is, I think, why they give out the Tua lei.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I don't know if that's still going on. I haven't been over to onto the site in a while, but they do have the Tua leis too.
Yeah. I mean, any way to help that you can, and to understand, I'm sure there's other organizations that are also donating to help out. The people of Maui and everything, and I mean, I would implore you to even donate to them. It doesn't have to be the Tua Foundation. You know what I mean? Just to be correct. I mean, if there's other avenues on way of donating, and you can take that,
absolutely.
Please do.
Absolutely.
So let's keep it going, Color. Like I said, I'm on a deadline here, so I got to speed rail through some of this stuff. So the next thing, no shocker here, and I don't know why they're making a big deal about this. I kind of know why, but I don't know why, because it's a Captain Obvious moment, Color. And you and I know what Captain Obvious moment is. People at home, if you don't know, if it's something so obvious, or it's what the answer was going to be and why someone would do something, it's a Captain Obvious moment. And that's this. Report: Dalvin Cook chose New York Jets over Miami Dolphins because of Aaron Rodgers. Let that sink in for a moment. So they're insinuating that it's because of Aaron Rodgers that's why Dalvin Cook went there.
If this was the late night tailgate, I think I would have already hit the duh meme, Ali.
Yeah, I would have hit the duh meme too. Let me tell you something. If you're a new person to a team, right? Doesn't matter if you're rookie, veteran, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what position you are, right? Obviously, you're going to show support for the team and show support for the team members. You know what I mean? Just like Tyreek said that he chose Tua, and Tua's going to be the better, he's going to have his best year ever under Tua, and he's the most accurate quarterback. That's what new players to new teams do, to show support and make sure everybody knows that they're on the team.
And right? That's why it's called a truism.
Yeah, it is a truism. And in addition to that, think about it. This guy took several months. I mean, let's be real for a moment, Color, right? The only reason that he went to the Jets, you and I both know this, is that they offered him way more money than what we were. That's the straight up truth. You know what I mean? 1 year, $8 million deal versus 1 year, $4 million deal. I would take the $8 million myself. You know what I mean? That's the honest truth.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
because even after all we've said about taxes, that's still well more.
And this guy went out of his way to sit there and go on Twitter, and, all these social media outlets, and on interviews and you've stated, I'd love to play for my hometown, Miami Dolphins. I would love to. And he even told them that. He even put the Jets on hold. Was at Jets, area. Could have signed on the dotted line then, and he put him on hold just to see what Miami would do, and Miami wouldn't budge. Chris Greer wouldn't budge. So, one, I don't really blame him, But two, I understand why he had to show support that way. I went there because of Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, who doesn't go to the team because of that quarterback? Just like, why would Tyreek going to come here and say, "Oh, I came here because I really like Christian Wilkins"?
Right. No, he actually took a little heat from his old buddy back in KC for speaking that truism. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what I mean. That's what new players do with their teams. You know what I'm saying?
In other words, he threw Patrick Mahomes under the bus in order to do it.
Mm-hmm.
He was that adamant about supporting Tua. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's
we can make fun of him for that comparison, for going that far, but you got to admire the guy for puffing up for his teammate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So these are things to think about, people. I understand there's a lot of beef and heat going on between the community about this whole issue, and is Chris Greer a good GM or not, or whatever, which I think is bogus. I'm kind of thinking it's bogus at this point, because I understand that people want to berate him because he hasn't gotten certain draft picks, but there's a lot of draft picks that we got that we did hit on. You know what I mean? And yeah, he's working with a budget, and based on not just what he wants to do, but what the organization wants to do and what the owner wants to do at the same time, he has a lot to deal with. And sometimes it doesn't always come out correctly, but at the same time, if you know that you're trying to renegotiate a deal with another player, which that's the next topic we're going to talk about, it is hard to make multiple deals at once when you don't even know if you have another one in the bag yet. In addition to that, you have limited amount of funds to play with in a lot of different positions of needs. You know what I mean? We don't want to go into this thing, put all of our eggs in one basket and sign the guy, and then find out that there's two positions we just took injuries on, and we have to replace those guys that are really important and detrimental to the team. You know what I mean?
Are you saying that there's a correlation between that and the next bit of news you're about to give and the timing of it?
Yes.
Like as soon as the Dalvin Cook news dropped, what happens next, Dolly?
Well, let's talk about it, Color. According to Alan Pupar, in the aftermath of Miami Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel confirming, which we will listen to his thing in a little bit later, that Christian Wilkins is holding in the quest for a new contract. Two of the stars of the team offered their take on the situation, including one familiar with the process. Now, what that means, just so you know, holding in. Yeah, he's at camp. He will take part in individual stuff, but he was not taking part during team drills and stuff specifically because of the contract issues. Now, what Mike McDaniel has said is that, we'll actually hear what he had to say, so I won't say too much. But what I will tell you is that he agrees that Christian Wilkins does deserve a new contract. Okay. And he agrees that Miami agrees that he is deserving of the contract. And they both agree that they need to get it done. And that's what they're working on. So I don't think it's as bad as someone that's holding out. I mean, this could be worse. He could be at home eating popcorn, waiting on his contract, not working with the team at all. But no, he's putting work in still. You know what I mean? Yeah, he didn't take part in team drills. I believe he did take part in 11-on-11s. You know what I mean? There's other stuff he could do by himself.
So he's not necessarily bailing on his teammates.
No, he's not. He's just, it's kind of like, I'm making a what do they call that?
Doing everything I need to do to make sure I can't get fired. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's doing everything he does, so he doesn't get fined or fired. But what is it when you're taking a stand? Like, what's the word I'm looking for? Color, help me out here.
Showing integrity.
No.
Let's see.
What do they call it? We're not writing, but what is it when you're chanting or God, what is the term?
Protesting?
Protest. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. This is his way of showing as protest. No. He is not doing that. Let me hear me out. Protest is the word. This is his way of professionally protesting that he's demanding a new contract and needs to get it done without hurting the team that much. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right. I
He's
think what
doing
you
it
might
in-
have been thinking of was a silent protest.
Yeah, that's the word. I'm sorry. I couldn't think of it. Thank you, Colin. Silent protest. He's taking a different action that doesn't hurt the team or negatively affect the team, but it does stand out to make it a point to point it out to the ownership and executives and the front office and everything. Makes sense? So that's what he's doing. And he hasn't done anything except for this. I think this is the first time he's done anything, Color. He's waited this long for a new contract. I think it's time. It's actually good to hear that they're actually talking about contracts. You know what I mean? Before you didn't hear nothing. You didn't hear nothing. Now there's like confirmation that they're kind of focusing on that. And even Mike McDaniel insinuates they're focusing on it as well. You know, they want to get it done too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's just a matter of meeting in the middle of what that price should be. I do like that he's shown progression in camp where he shows he can get the sacks, but we know camp is different than actually getting in a real game. So I understand the Dolphins' hesitation, but at the same time, I think they'll get it done, bro. I think they'll find a way to get it done.
And that could be why Ross was showing face the other day in camp. As I suggested, that would be why Wilkins was held out. You don't talk about a man's money while he's sitting there practicing in front of you. But it could also be that Wilkins was scheduled to meet with the man himself, that day. And, you're not going to have a guy just coming off of practice and all that meeting with the owner, and all that and all huffed and puffed and, you know what I mean? Not the right state of mind and all that for business negotiations or for that type of conversation. So he could have very well been there to talk to Wilkins himself,
Yeah.
Because we do know that Ross does engage with the players that we sign, and all that on a personal level, So who knows if it wasn't, hey, buddy, we really love you, and you're like a son to me, and we'll take care of you. Don't worry. So maybe we'll get a situation where we can give him more, yet still be a little team friendly. You know what I mean? Because I think that Christian Wilkins is aware enough to know what the premium is on sacks himself. I mean, he can't. But $10 million is kind of low in his mind. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, it could have very well been the purpose Ross was at camp the other day, was to start this process. You know what I mean?
So definitely, I agree. I think they probably had a sit down between Greer, Ross, and Chris Wilkins, or his representatives, and they were all showing face that hey, we want you on this team. We believe you do deserve a contract, but we need to find a way that we can meet in the middle to make it happen, but also support the team, because our ultimate goal is the Super Bowl. That's what I would be doing as an owner at this team. I'd be like, listen, man, I will scratch your back if you can scratch mine.
And it's not as if they held him out for that purpose. I understand that people are a little less to believe something like that.
Yeah.
So I would say that who knows if he didn't have a scheduled day of rest that day and they just timed it. For Ross's visit, you know what I mean? So they killed two birds with one stone, you know what I mean? So, it's not like I'm not trying to say, oh, there's this caballing going on and they held him out of practice. So no, I'm just saying that they could have just timed everything to coincide with his natural day off or something, or day of rest or something.
Yeah, so it's pretty evident that at least they're talking, and we know that we're not just going to let him, play out his contract. And we know that, that trade really is not on the table yet, which is good. You know what I mean? Nobody wanted to see the guy get traded. I know you and I speculated, but that was because it was so quiet. Miami didn't even seem like they were going to do anything about it. You know what I mean? That's why we speculated that.
Right. But, and as deep as my take sounded, Ali, I bet you there's somebody in Miami going, who's the leak, man? How's this guy know it? You know what I mean? Like, he's in our computer. He saw our scheduling or something, man.
Yeah, I'm just being honest, bro. I mean,
Exactly.
they've been so quiet, and
Yep.
everyone threw hate at me and you about, and others at TFTG about, even the thought of trading Christian Wilkins. Listen,
Right.
I'm the last person that wants to do this. I love the man. I love how energetic he is. I love what he does on and off the field, outside of football. I love it all. My best friend is a big time Power Ranger fan and loves Christian Wilkins just for the Power Ranger stuff, right? The guy is lovable. He's like he's the perfect guy to be a face of your franchise without being the quarterback.
And
right?
I think that does carry a little bit of more of a premium than people are giving it credit for.
It does.
But
it does.
To the level of these other guys that are getting all these sacks, is it enough to make up for that premium? I'm not so sure.
That's the only knock on Christian Wilkins. That is the only knock on him. Beyond that, he is the perfect defensive tackle, right? If you give him the sacks, he is the perfect defensive tackle at that point.
Right. And even if we've heard that he wants over 20 million, he's gonna say that. That's another truism. He's got to start the negotiations high. It's just like anything else. If you don't know how to haggle, you don't know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
It's the art of negotiation, right?
I mean, you're not
you
gonna
always
start
high and you work your way down till both people, because the person that is buying will start low, you start high.
Right.
And then
And you're also by starting high, right. I'm sorry to interrupt. I was just saying, by also starting high, you're signaling to the person that you're not a fool.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely 100%. So he has to start high. The Miami Dolphins have to start low until they can meet in the middle somewhere. And they also have the whole team they have to think about, right? It's not just him. There's a lot more people that we have to sign down the pipeline here.
Right.
We still have to re-sign Rob Hunt. We still have to re-sign Javon Holland, Jalen Waddle, amongst Connor Williams. I don't want to see him walk next year. I mean, he was a really good center this year or this past year, and we need to see more of it. You know what I mean?
Right, and couple that with the hold-in, or the silent protest, as we refer to it as.
Yeah.
That's going to make sure that Miami's starting point is not going to be what it currently is at. So, in other words, if he's only making, what was it, 10 million or something, you know what I mean? He is guaranteed by sitting in, he's guaranteeing that that's not going to be their starting point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely understand. Definitely. So that being said, I think I'm okay with this. You know what I mean? It could be a lot worse. It could be like you just don't show up to camp, and I don't like that at all. I want you at least in the building, at least watching film or whatever. If you don't want to take part in one part of it, that's fine. It is what it is. Even though you need to be there, but I think he's doing it the right way. He's trying to show faith, but also at the same time be like, you got to do something for me. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
So anyway, let's talk about top performers. It's Omar Kelly's stock up, stock down, bro. That's what we talk about at the beginning of all of our shows every week. And let's talk about it. So where's Lewis? Someone do a wellness check on Lewis. This person that I'm about to say is going to wake Lewis out of his grave if he's not already in chat. He might even pop up in here maybe because he probably heard his name being spoken about. Maybe. But this guy is a guy that Lewis has talked about a lot lately. And I kind of think this person lives rent-free in Lewis's head.
For stock up?
For stock up. Top performer. The number one top performer.
Wow, you're kidding me. No,
I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. Tight end, Durham Smythe. The Dolphins tight ends have been awfully quiet throughout training camp, bringing up questions about whether the team should have done more to address the position in the offseason. But Smythe, who has started 56 games for Miami in the past 5 seasons, was a major factor in the passing game Wednesday, concluding a strong performance with a 38-yard reception from Tua in the 2-minute drill at the end of practice.
How many air yards on that one, man? I wish we knew.
It was one of 4 catches for Smythe on the day.
Wow.
So that was the number one top performer, according to Omar Kelly. Number 2, this would have woken me up in my grave or my sleeping if I was sleeping at the time. Because
Just real, I'm sorry, Ali. That just warms the heart. I had to tell you.
Oh, I know.
Sorry to interrupt.
I knew it would. But in addition to that, I knew Lewis would be twitching at the eye. You know what I mean? But that's okay. I love you, Lewis. You know I'm messing with you. This guy would have woken me up the moment you said his name, and I would be rejoicing because I still believe this guy is going to be eventually be an X factor at some point in this defense, right? Now, I don't want to say X factor. I want to say that he's going to be a major contributor, right? He's a guy that I think he's going to play a role that he's going to get a lot more playing time, but at the same time, be one of the difference makers on this team. You know what I'm saying? And that's linebacker Andrew Van Ginkel. He's number 2 top performer. The versatile linebacker who is being cross-trained to work as an inside linebacker pulled down an interception of a pass from Texas quarterback Davis Mills, which he leaped into the air to get. Van Ginkel had a decent return on interception, but would have been stopped before he reached the end zone. Okay, at least it was decent and he ran with it. Hell yeah. Van Ginkel, who started 31 games for the Dolphins as outside linebacker the past 3 seasons, also broke up 2 passes in coverage, and one of them prevented a touchdown during a red zone period. His performance Wednesday hints that he's inside linebacker number 4, which could put Channing Tindall, Miami's 2022 third-round pick, in jeopardy of not making the 53-man roster if he doesn't nail down a prominent special teams role. Just putting that out there, Color. Wow. I told you.
He better turn himself into Steve Tasker really quick, man.
And I told you Tyndall was not that performing. Yes, he did highlight in the preseason game and maybe a practice and 2 after, but you got guys that are going to be like, hold my beer, I got this. And that's what Van Ginkel just did, right? In the same practice. Holy
crap. Just like Gasking did for the litmus back the other night.
Yeah. So Color, today's top performers actually has 4 different people. So now we're to number 3, right? And number 3 would have waken you up out of your sleep and had you rejoicing because this is your favorite player, right? The man with the best abs on the team, pass rusher Jaelan Phillips, right? And I'm speaking for people like Color's mom or all the ladies out there because I know that's what they think.
You know,
right?
I've sung AVG's praises too. That means I'm 3 for 3 right now, bro.
Yeah. Pass rusher Jaelan Phillips. Phillips' performance Wednesday might cost George Fant his roster spot because the replacement for the injured Titus Howard and the Texans starting right tackle had his lunch money taken by Phillips. Oh, that poor man had his lunch money taken, Color. Phillips, who spent most of the practice in Houston's backfield, Phillips recorded at least 2 sacks, 2 pressures during 11-on-11 period, and that being conservative. It was good to see Phillips dominate an offensive tackle for the first time all camp because at times he struggled against Austin Jackson. That's true because I did read that. Wednesday performance from Phillips hints that Jackson is not catfishing the Dolphins and may have resurrected his career.
Exactly. I was just about to say the same thing, Ali. That actually is not an indictment on Jaelan Phillips. That's credit to Austin Jackson right there because Jaelan Phillips just proved that it's not shade on him. You know what I mean? By going against an opponent's tackle, you know.
Yeah, and I've also saw a video on Twitter because people, record. I don't know what it is with Miami Dolphins joint practices. They got to record everything. They were recording Austin Jackson. I saw several videos of him doing drills as well and doing drills where they had the offensive line versus the defensive line, and he was holding up the pressure, holding up the defensive end, and making sure he stayed on his guy. He wasn't getting steamrolled or anything. Austin Jackson, I think, is starting to cement his way to being that starting right tackle for us, right?
So is he the number 4? Is that what Omar led into?
What do you mean the number 4?
Top performer.
He is the number 3 top performer. I'm not done yet. We got one more.
Austin Jackson.
No, Austin Jackson is not the number 4.
Oh, okay. I just making sure that wasn't a lead in.
Number 4.
Oh, okay. I just making sure that wasn't a lead in. Real quick about Jalen Phillips also is that he's got a lot to play for. There's pressure on him by this fan base to be the next JT. Let's be real. We put that on him, and there's pressure on him to perform to get his real contract. You know what I mean? So it's not as if he's trying to do any favors for Austin Jackson in camp. That's all I'm saying.
That's absolutely true. And what I've read of Austin Jackson is that it's not like a huge jump he's making. It's settle enough to where it's more consistent and people are starting to notice it. And I've heard in several practices that even though there's been some bad, there's been just as much good. So it's not like all one-sided with like one of the other offensive linemen that we're not going to say his name because I'm trying to stay positive at this point. But it's not like that.
You mean our trade bait for Houston? Is that
we won't say his name.
I was just thinking okay. when you talking about Jalen Phillips taking that Houston player's lunch money, I thought, oh wow, perfect for Miami. Bring him on in.
Oh my God. All right, let's go to the fourth and final top performer according to Omar Kelly. Now this guy, I was a big doubter when we signed him. I didn't even think he would make this team, to be honest. I thought he was a camp body, right? Color, you told me don't sleep on this man, right? And I said, okay, I'll let's see what happens here, right? And not only did the guy put in the work, got himself shredded as all hell, which I've been told that he's always been shredded, but I could never tell, to be honest. And he has been surprising people left and right from day one. And even in the preseason game, there was several times he was wide open. And even though the quarterback didn't throw it to him, I said that would have been the perfect throw every time. That's wide receiver Braxton Berrios Color. The wide receiver was back working in team periods for the first time since sustaining a cut on his forehead in the preseason opener against Atlanta. And he picked up where he left off before he was sidelined. Berrios had the biggest play. He had the biggest play of the day for the offense when he got himself wide open behind the Houston secondary to catch a 50-yard touchdown pass from who, Color? No other than Skylar Thompson. Despite the pass being underthrown, he still caught it. Berrios had 5 catches of the day, including a touchdown from Tua in the red zone and a nice low grab on a pass from Mike White. Berrios is starting to cement his way on this roster. At this point, he's a lock for me. He's a lock for me, not just as a receiver, but also as a punt returner or a kickoff returner. I can see him doing either.
Well. That's how Hurricanes roll, Ollie. We don't. Generally speaking, Hurricanes aren't on the bubble, bro. They're a lock right out of the gate. And that brings me to the other Hurricane. I don't know if you have a report on him lately, but if we're able to land him too, that's 3 Hurricanes on our squad that I know about without even looking at the roster.
Yeah, we'll see. Definitely.
That's championship right there, buddy. I'm telling you.
Hey, Color has this theory that we've kind of proven, to be honest, that every championship team for any sport in the U.S., there's always somebody from the Miami Hurricanes on that team.
So. And if not every team that there is a Hurricane on eventually wins a championship.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Like the ones that do, like, you know what I mean? Like, you will see that. Like, there's very few teams in other sports that are like, oh, we got a Hurricane on our squad, and they don't go all the way.
Yeah, too bad the Buffalo Bills couldn't win without Hurricane at quarterback home.
Well, got him there plenty of times, but Hurricane can only do so much, Ollie, Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the stock down. And these 2 people, I'm kind of sad to see them on here, bro. I'm very surprised, but it's not good for me. It's not good for me because I expect better from both of these gentlemen. All right, so stock down for this practice. He has outside linebacker Emmanuel Ogbah as the first one. Christian Wilkins' hold-in provides Miami's coaches the ideal opportunity to test out Agba as a defensive lineman in Vic Fangio's scheme, but there seems to be little interest in seeing the 7-year veteran who has produced 19 sacks in his 42 games with the Dolphins the past 3 years with his hand in the dirt. The Dolphins seem adamant about having Agba practice as a stand-up outside linebacker, and his lack of quickness has led to a quiet training camp. He was in Texas backfield for a noticeable play despite lining up against the lackluster offensive line all day at this point. Agba is a $15 million backup. Color, I'm going to give you a broken take right this moment.
Go ahead, because Omar's just hurt.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm going to give you a broken take. If this is the case, and we're refusing to put his hand in the dirt because how big Agba looks from what we saw on the first day of training camp, I could see him being put in the middle with Raekwon Davis, for example, as a nose tackle, right? If you're not going to actually do that with him or have him play inside with his hand in the dirt, then maybe he's the trade bait. Maybe he's the trade piece that we're looking to move off of for somebody.
Right.
You know what I mean? Hey, Colts, I'll send you my first in Agba, and you give me Jonathan Taylor right now.
Right.
Just saying. You know, I want my Jonathan Taylor. You know, I want him. Look, he already has experience running away from the Jets. That's what we always do. We run away from them once we're getting the open field here. Just saying. All right.
Pump it, Ollie.
That's right. All right. So the last but not least, this is the one that I'm even more disappointed in. More so because it's a piece of our offense that I think needs to be clicking now. We don't have time for these dumb mistakes or lack of play. I don't care about your other off the field or administrative issues that you have with contracts or whatnot. Center Connor Williams his stock is down, color. He was not a top performer. While Liam Eichenberg has taken his share of criticism this training camp, Williams has had some rough outings as well. On this day, there was some spotty work in one-on-one pass blocking drills, a low shotgun snap that disrupted the timing of a pass, though it was completed, and Tua's first attempt being disrupted by immediate pressure right up the middle. Williams skipped the offseason program because he wants a new contract, but his performance in camp frankly hasn't helped his cause. I'm not happy about this, color. This guy had almost a perfect season last season, and now we went to this? Come on. Not happy about this at all. All right. So that is our stock up and stock down. So some more information about Christian Wilkins and not being in the the team drills or whatever. There was some comments made by basically comments that shows that he has support of his teammates and head coach, right? So, for example, they have Xavier Howard couldn't help but laugh when he was asked about Christian Wilkins' hold-in as Miami Dolphins teammates look for a new contract. After all, it wasn't that long ago that Howard was in the same situation. Howard said, "I knew you were going to ask me this." Then asked for his advice. Howard simply said, Get your money, get your money. I can't say anything else, man." Howard eventually did get his money after a turbulent 2021 summer, one that reached the point where he requested a trade via Instagram before getting his contract adjusted with a promise to revisit the next season, at which time the Dolphins gave him a new deal. Pause right there, color. Could this happen again? Could the Miami Dolphins talk to him and say, "Hey, we promise we'll revisit this in the next season, with a better new approved deal. But here, let me scratch your back and show promise by adjusting your contract a little bit. Maybe we'll give you a couple more $1 million. What do you think?
Well, that's kind of what I was saying earlier. Like, you know, first of all, with the hold in, it's going to start there probably. You know what I mean? But, you know, that may be a case where, hey, we do think you're valued more than 10 million, maybe even another 6. But we're just not giving you that until we can reevaluate next season, take this bone, feel comfortable in the fact that you're right outside where you want to be, with a promise that if you perform, we'll get you there. So in other words, you're effectively taking a more of a gentleman's handshake on incentives instead of actually writing it into a contract.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
You know,
I agree with you. So
they're saying here, we'll give you a couple more million, ball out more, and you'll get your money next year. You know, get us more sacks and you'll get your money next year.
Yeah. Howard was asked about the importance of taking care of business side of things. At the end of the day, you've got to make sure you're ready to play football. So also, though, no matter what you're going through, because there's like some guys just focus on getting paid and stuff like that, Howard said, then they forget that you still got to play football if you get paid or if you don't. You've still got to perform. So it's like you've got to just go take care of it and just be a pro. And I'm sure he's going to do that because he is a pro. So basically what he's saying is that Christian Wilkins can't just turn it off. He has to be on still 100%, but also take care of business on the contract side of things as well. Go get your money. But you also can't forget, once you get your money, you still got to be a pro. And he's definitely a pro. That's what Xavier Howard said.
Right.
Now, other people had some thoughts to say. One of them, I'm actually not going to give it out because we're going to actually watch his media availability and he's going to talk about it, right? So, but we'll talk about the next person. Armstead. Armstead's confident, right? Pro Bowl tackle Teron Armstead, who also was asked about Wilkins' hold-in after the joint practice with Houston Texans on Wednesday. Christian is a dog. We need him. We need him to win. There's no question. So he knows what he needs to be ready, to be prepared. He practices and plays harder than anybody I've ever seen. You've never worry about a guy like him. We need him. The organization knows we need him. I'm pretty sure they'll figure out something, whether it's stock options or whatever, to get the job done. Stock options. Damn, now we're getting into some real business.
Interesting.
Damn, I didn't even know that was an option color.
Absolutely. I've heard of that plenty of times. Absolutely.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, they'll throw any bonus they can at a guy, you know, and you think of a move like that. Now, it could actually mean nothing. It could backfire. But, man, a stock option now, you're talking about give me enough of them, and I mean, there's no limit on how high those can go. You know what I mean? I mean,
yeah.
It's not like he has to give up the stock option after he leaves the team.
Yep. Actually, you're absolutely right. So I agree. Whatever it takes, go get it done. I don't care if we have to offer the guy a longer
isn't
contract.
He precisely the type of personality that understands that kind of thing, like stock options and all that? Like he's precisely the kind of guy that would take a deal like that.
Yeah. Here's the reality part, right? Defensive tackles, a lot of teams generally do end up paying them and they don't let them go, right? Because good defensive tackles like a Christian Wilkins, like who's the other guy? The guy the Jets have, I can't think of his name, but like people like that, like Aaron Donald and stuff like that, right? People like that, you just don't let go, right? You pay the man, you keep them there for as long as it takes, or even until they retire, right? So if you want to offer stock options, rock and roll it, rock with it. I'm down with it. If you want to pay the guy 20 million or 21 million, I'm okay with it. I'm not okay with giving him 24 million or 25 million. You know what I mean? 21, maybe 22 million at very most. But here's the other part of it.
Anything over 20 is going to have to be laced with incentives to get there.
Yeah, and
But I
here's
could
the other,
do 18 outright. You know what I mean?
but here's the other part of it, color. I'll even be okay with it if you go a little bit higher, just if it's structured in a way where it doesn't hit the cap. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like if you do it that way, then it's not. I don't really care because it's not hitting our cap. We still have options. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
That's Ross's money, and we don't handle Ross's money. What Ross pays for, it's only up to what he's willing to pay for. You know what I mean? So it
Exactly.
doesn't matter to us. But the cap does affect us because that means if we hit our cap too bad, that means we are going to lose players in the future. We won't get to see them anymore. If we hurt our caps much, it can hurt our future. Whereas if it doesn't hit the cap as much, maybe half of it hits the cap, then we still have a future to go with. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm getting with it. So that's where I'm going with that. All right, color. Let's move on to the video I want to watch of Mike McDaniel and his presser. We're gonna watch that, and that's what we're gonna end the show on because we have about 20 minutes left.
Perfect.
And this will give us just enough time to end it, right?
Probably the most flowing show we've ever done, bro.
Yeah, I try to get everything within 2 hours. My wife is like, "You better be done in 2 hours. I'm gonna come after you. Don't make me embarrass you on your show." My wife is kind of reminds me of you ever watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the Will Smith series, right? You've watched it, right? In the intro where the mom's going, "You're gonna go live with your auntie and your uncle in Bel-Air," and she's like nagging at him, and she has the hairnet on and all that.
Wow.
I can just see my wife coming up behind me and nagging at me, and she looks like that lady. You know what I mean?
All right. How about the lady? Here's another one that might work, and you can tell me. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
The wife from I forget the guy's name, the character's name in Police Academy. Remember when she jumped through all the neighbors' yards to stop him from going to the police academy, and then jumped on his car and rode all the way to the police academy with her on the hood?
And he's like, "What are you doing?"
Right. "You move this car 1 inch, mister," and then blah, blah, and he like drives off with her on the hood.
She did not want him to be a cop. If you guys have not, I know we have a lot of younger folk that have never seen Police Academy. Unfortunately, it was a great comedy that, what was it, filmed in the 80s or 90s?
Oh, 80s for sure.
Late 80s, early 90s. Check it out. It's called Police Academy. One cult classic comedy movie. Cult classic.
I think I'm cutting. There is some nudity in it, but by now it's so old a movie, you can find plenty of like made for TV version.
I don't even remember the nudity.
Yeah, remember when Mahoney was standing there watching the girls in the shower, and Lieutenant Harris comes up to watch too, and Mahoney leaves, and as soon as Mahoney leaves, all the girls start freaking out because they knew he was watching them, but they liked Mahoney, you know what I mean? So they were letting him watch it.
That's so funny. I forgot about that part. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So let's watch this video, color. I'm going to we're gonna put it on here and let me make sure I got the volume up. Tell me if you can hear it. Let me get rid of this thing banner. All right. Let me know if you can hear this okay?
Yep.
Swag recognizes.
All good.
What are we doing? How are we doing, guys? The floor is yours.
What do you expect Christian Wilkins to do today in terms of participation? And how much has he missed by not being part of team group?
Okay. So what was asked, if you could hear it, because I could barely hear it, so I'll narrate. He asked him, what do you expect Christian Wilkins' performance to bring today, especially since he didn't participate in team drills, and basically something to that effect. That's basically what I heard. So let's see what he had to say.
Oh, hell, you're onto it. Christian's such a good player, such an important person in the locker room, who has made it clear that he feels that his play is deserving of a contract. We would agree, as the Miami Dolphins organizations, henceforth we are in negotiations, and as a result, he's hasn't been participating in the team, and when he next participates, that'll be up to him.
So he basically said what I told you. He's very deserving, of his contract. And we'll see,
Well, he should
when
have put new in front of it because the guy already has a contract, but I digress.
Oh, I understand.
He should have said new contract, but that's a simple mistake.
Well, technically, he is not on a contract anymore, if you think about it, Color, because this is his 5th-year option. So after this season, there is no more contracts. So technically, this is the end of his contract.
No, but he's contracted to play this year.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, well, that's schematics. I mean, semantics.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Semantics, right.
But the reality is that he's very deserving. He definitely has put up the last 2 seasons, has really showed that he can be a top 5 defensive tackle in this league. Yes, he is lacking the sacks. That's the biggest knock, if not the only knock on this person, right? The only knock. And I understand why we're not jumping to give him, record-breaking money or whatever. But at the same time, the one thing I know about Chris Greer is that he doesn't want to necessarily make a deal that is going to hurt the organization. He always makes sure we have an out. And I think that might be part of this issue. They're trying to find what they're comfortable with, and also what Christian is comfortable with as well, without hurting the organization, right? And that's the whole point. Let's see what else he had to say.
Every player is, it's like a snowflake, I would say, unique to itself. So, I'm comfortable with the situation as it stands. Christian and I are in constant communication, and this is part of the business that a lot of teams are dealing with.
I'm sorry, but he just walked right into that one, Ali. I have to say it. Did he just say every player is a snowflake?
Yes, but did you understand the correlation of why he said that?
Of course I did, but he walked right into it. I couldn't let it go.
All right, let's.
I did understand the correlation, but it's just the optics. It's like, did he just call every player a snowflake?
For people that are watching at home, let's translate Mike McDaniel, because that's what we have to do here. What he means is that each situation in its own is unique to every player. And just like a snowflake, because no snowflake is exactly the same of the other. There's no...
Well, how about I use something that humans actually have, like fingerprints? That would have worked just the same.
Oh, okay, I guess I understand. I think he was just talking about the uniqueness, right?
I know, I'm just picking on him.
I understand. But basically what was asked is, like, how do you feel about that situation? So that's basically what he was answering, It is what it is, and, that's where they digress, basically. So let's keep going, Color. We don't have a lot of time.
That's an overlooked part of joint practices that I hold with high regard and high esteem, because it's about a team coming together, and this offers an opportunity for guys to, in the unique situation that we have in Miami Gardens is a lot of guys live all over the place, so you don't, people have lives, and you want teams to come together, and you want guys to spend time together. Well, here we are locked up in a hotel together, so there's nowhere to hide. Even if they don't want to see me, they have to run into me. But we specifically try to orchestrate the whole joint practice session and the travel times around that, coming out here before the player day off, so that guys can really invest into each other. And I think they really have, between position dinners and various things. I know rookies are preparing a skit for the veterans to be entertained with on Thursday night. So there's a lot of good things going on, and happy to be here in Houston.
So Travis Wainfield basically asked something along the lines of, how do you guys with people being away from families and and having all the guys to how do you handle it? Like, what do you guys do? Do you guys like come together and how does it work when you're away from home and all this other stuff? Um, I kind of like I like that they do things like this. I like the fact that they're trying to build like a chemistry and kind of act like a family and provide entertainment out of
Yep.
it. What do you think?
Camaraderie. That is the word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's great. And I also, again, I'll reiterate what I said the other day about being able to get away from Miami in general and the local prying eyes and the and all that, because over there it's the Texans beat reporters, it's the the Texans fans, it's the scrutiny is all over them, and we might even garner some compliments out of them, which we actually did. I noticed some of their beat reporters gave us a few compliments today. But also just in that, along those same lines, you're just getting away. You're getting away from, you're able to, despite, not being in your normal cycle of your own life, you actually almost are able to focus more because there's nothing else to do when you're stuck with a bunch of guys, your teammates like that, you're dormed up. Yeah, there's things to do around Houston, I guess, but for the most part, who are you going to do it with? I mean,
yeah,
do it with some of your teammates. I mean, and so, I think that's good, man. I think that really like it drives focus. It's not even so much the camaraderie aspect, obviously, but they have nothing else to focus on.
You're absolutely right. I definitely agree. I think it builds camaraderie, it builds brotherhood, it builds teams. It's part of the team building process altogether. And I actually like to see teams do that. Not just in this sport, but every sport, to be honest. One thing I want to mention real quick, and this is kind of sidebar. I just noticed this. So when Miami Dolphins do outside press media stuff like that, and it's outside, don't you, if you go back and watch all the videos, you always hear some like construction or some truck with the reverse sound going on in the background, or like some
That's the
type of
Jegs
bulldozer.
machine. That's the Jegs machine. The
No,
Jegs, a lot of times the Jegs machine is right behind where they set up the thing, and there's some receiver out there taking reps on the Jegs machine. That's what it is.
it always sounds like a semi is backing up constantly, and you can barely hear what the guy is saying, right? Here, wherever they're set up, you don't hear hardly anything. You'll hear the music in the background, like whatever they're playing.
Right.
But that's it. It's subtle, and it's like, oh, I can actually hear the guy.
But
I don't have to
but
worry about construction or whatever is going on.
yeah, they last year, a couple of the camps days, they did set it up near the Jegs machine, and you could hear it. That's what we had noticed last year in some of the pressers too with the players.
Yeah, because I forget what it was. We were sitting here with El Capitan on a TFTG show, and every question, I was like, oh my God, someone kill that truck driver, because all you would hear is the backing of a semi going, like when they're going back. And I was like, is that what it is? Like, holy shit. You know what I mean? So let's keep it going, Connor. Let's keep it going.
Jalen Waddle or Peter Kohu, Cam, Jalen Gator, any of those guys ready for competitive reps here?
There's with specifically with Cam and Cater, they're both dealing with stuff that you don't really know if it's what day it is or it's day to day as you progress as tolerated, really. So I didn't expect Cam to be in stretch and some position drills the other day, but sure enough, he was on a mission to prove something to his teammates, and I'm not really looking for them to, but I wouldn't be surprised if they'd appear scattered along, and we're holding Jalen against himself. He's a Houston native, and it's hard to believe the information we're receiving when he's telling us he's good. That's one of the things you love about Jalen, and it's our job to protect him for himself.
From getting the wind knocked out of him?
Hold
Wow.
on.
No, there's so much that you just learn about each other as teammates, all of us. And, you know, there's no way any of his teammates on the Miami Dolphins would know that about him. But when you do something like that, it definitely sends a statement to your teammates that is well received. You know, you can there's a being hurt or being injured, and sometimes when guys are fighting through something, they think they're hurt, then they find out they're injured. But that tough-minded nature and that will to compete is not lost on any of us, coaches and players alike.
All right, so they talked about Jalen Waddle. Basically, they're saying with Cam Smith and Kader Kahu, you know, it's day to day. He didn't expect Cam Smith to be already kind of back with the team, sort of. But he's there, and you know, it is what it is. But with Jalen Waddle, they're trying to hold him back. Like, he's ready to come back, but they're holding him back only because I think they're just being overly precautious, bro. I think they know that Jalen Waddle is really important to this team. And what does he have to prove, bro? What does he have to prove in this preseason, to be honest? Do we really need him to play?
I mean, yeah. Do we need Tyreek to play?
I don't need Tyreek to play.
I mean, I thought that. See, this is where I'm confused because I thought the wind just got knocked out of him.
Well, they haven't actually said what the issue is. Some people are speculating. There's some people are speculating that he got the wind knocked out of him, and that could be. What we do know, what has been said, is that he has a torso injury. What that is could be anything. Right. He could have hurt his pec. He could have bruised his ribs. You know, I'm assuming that. Yeah. What I'm assuming what it is, based on where he was holding. I bet you he bruised a rib. That's what I'm betting.
That's what I think too. I don't think it's fully broken. I think he bruised a rib because
if he's
chomping at the bit to get right, if he's chomping the bit to get out there, that means he's not hurting when he breathes anymore. You know what I mean? He's like, "Let me out there," and they're like, "No, we got to make sure you're all right." You know what I mean?
Yeah, but also, Color. With that being said, and you just reminded me, and this is where is it? Let me find it here. Oh, I guess I didn't post. Oh, yeah, I did right here. I forgot to mention this. More injuries are plaguing the NFL. Star wide receiver Treylon Burks suffered an LCL sprain during practice today, according to Ian Rappaport. So had to have an MRA. Luckily for him, it's only an LCL sprain. It's not like a full break or anything. So that's good. But there's a lot more injuries that I'm starting to see pop up this offseason during training camp and stuff compared to previous seasons. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
In the first week, there was like a wave of injuries. And I kind of think that being said, like, I don't blame the Miami Dolphins being precautious. Shit, we're only in a 2-year window. We got to make the best of it any way which possible. What you've seen from Waddle, you know he's going to be money. You know he's going to continue to give you production, which he did. And even according to your metrics, which we won't really get into, he was one of the most productive receivers on your list.
Right. And fortunately, you don't need to have you don't necessarily need to be 100% to take reps on the Jegs machine, which, to be honest with you, is really the only thing he needs to correct, or the only thing that would help him correct his only issue. So,
and what's going to stop him from having a Jegs machine put into his house where he's catching balls from?
He probably has one. If I'm a NFL wide receiver, I know I'd have one in my backyard. I want one just not even being in the NFL. I want one of those things.
Tyreek has one. That's how I know he probably has one. Tyreek has one in his own backyard or his house, and he sits there and he stands 1 foot away from it, catching the ball at the highest velocity.
Nice.
Over and over again, right?
Nice.
And I like that because that shows that he's trying to work on his hands, and I hope to God Waddle's doing the same thing.
Yeah, not saying that he could be a soccer goalie too, doing that.
Waddle is a prolific, and I think when all is said and done, he's going to be one of the top wide receivers in this league, no matter what, right? No matter what anybody says, right? And I have nothing against him, but I do think his hands just need to get a little bit better. You get the hands figured down. And honestly, Tyreek and him could be the number 1, number 2 receivers in this league, hands down.
Oh, sure.
Just saying, just being honest.
Well, I often ask what would happen with Skyler's stat line had he caught 1 or 2 of those balls. Well, what would his stat line have been like in a playoff game catching 2 of those balls? You know what I mean? Like, dang, Waddle, help yourself out, buddy. Not just your quarterback.
Yeah, I definitely understand. It's a shame, but it is what it is. But, I'm hoping that he comes out this year like everyone is betting that he will, proving that he can catch those, not a problem. And I'm hoping that we see a lot less of those inopportune time drops. And what I mean by that,
because he doesn't really have a lot of drops on the season. It was just really bad inopportune times,
Yeah, the worst timing. That's basically what it is. Let's keep it going, Color, because I'm limited on time.
Sure.
Well, it'll be very much like a lot of the years I know D'Amico, where I'm standing over here and he's over there. What's funny about it though is I think the first practice that I ever had as a coach that I was paid was D'Amico's first practice as a player in the National Football League in 2006. So it is really cool to see him where he's at. It doesn't surprise me in the least. I mean, shoot, that day where our journeys were beginning, so to speak, he was with the first group as the starting Mike linebacker as a second-round draft pick. So,
wow, Mike McDaniel's been coaching since that long ago, Color.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's when he started getting paid. Holy crap, bro!
Mm-hmm.
And this guy is still super young. That's what I can't get over. I'm sitting there like, damn. Yeah, let's keep it going.
One of the best coaches I've been around. One of my favorite people.
Uh-oh, we lost the audio. I don't think I hear you either. Cat, get your audio interface again.
Can you hear me, Color?
Yep, I got you.
All right. Can you hear the audio when I press play? Let me press play. No? Okay.
No.
Let's not worry about the end of the video. Let me tell you what happened. So in the end of the video, essentially, he goes on to talk more about D'Amico Ryans and whatnot. That's what pretty much a lot of the other, the rest of the video was primarily about. I just really wanted to play it for the Christian Wilkins stuff and what he said about the injuries and stuff, because me and Color have been speculating on like the injuries and what's going on with that and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's where I'm at with it. But yeah, man, I heard better things from our offense. There was a ton of performers both on the offense and defense. I heard this was a better practice. We'll have to see what happens. I'm kind of excited for this next preseason game. What is it? Saturday?
Saturday. Yep.
Saturday. Do we know what time? What time Saturday? Is it 7?
Generally, Saturday games are still in the evening, but I don't have confirmation 100%.
I know it's supposed to be on NFL Network. That's where there's
right, and I think NFL's website might already have the banner up at the top if you want to check real quick. I think they put it out this early already for the game schedule. The little banner they have at the top with all the games.
Mm-hmm.
I think that should already be active.
Yeah, I gotcha. So Color, what are your final thoughts for this episode?
Well, I do like the, putting the name aside in Smythe, I do like the fact that McDaniel seems to be trying to work the tight end group in more in the overall passing scheme, because one of the things I've also read about the West Coast system is that it is supposed to incorporate the tight end a lot more than we saw last year. Let's be honest. So is it a signal that we're going to utilize the tight end a little more, where, and claim that extra, yardage, scoring, whatever we could out of utilizing them in more fashion than we did?
Mm-hmm.
That's positive to me, because it's not just about Durham catching a long ball or having a great day and all that. It's about the fact that he had the opportunity to, which means we were game planning for them, the tight end room, at some point today. You know what I mean? So it's good to see that, because I think that's something that we were missing last year when it came to taking advantage of, open field that we just didn't take advantage of, leaving meat on the field, on the bone and all that.
Yeah.
When you look at our tight end production last year, was just nothing. We didn't even bother.
Yeah. I mean, they were so inconsistent. That was the issue. And I think in this tight end room, if they want to be successful or be utilized more, they need to show consistency. And, for example, the guy caught 4 passes today. That's a little bit more consistent.
Exactly.
I need to see more of that, and that's what we were lacking.
In other words, not to insult Lewis. I'm not trying to do that. I'm saying shut him up. Say, hey, in other words, change what he can say about you. If he's out there saying all you do is catch 3-yard passes, then show him you can do more. Show a guy like Lewis that that he needs to change his verbiage. You see what I'm saying? Because he don't have to. Lewis sees what he sees, and he's right for saying what he says, even though I can point out stats and prove that as a not whatever. You know what I mean? But for the most part, you don't see the Gesicki type long balls to Smythe and that kind of stuff. So they want to work him into that. He's a tight end 1 now, and I firmly believe, based on his ability to catch the ball, that if we can get some of that out of him, no, it'll never be to the level of your typical receiving tight end like that. But man, we don't need it to be that much, and of course, along with improving the blocking, obviously, he's not the greatest at that either, despite despite being the guy in the room. I look for bigger things from him, and if I'm wrong and he don't prove it, then more power to Lewis's eye test. You know what I mean? The thing of it is, Ali, one more quick thing is that, I think Durham Smythe watches our show, bro.
I think
he's heard Lewis's concerns. He's heard me talking him up that he has this certain ability and that he, hasn't been utilized that way as a tight end too. And he went out there and, gave us something to talk about, bro. So shout out to Durham if you're watching, buddy. Good morning. Hope you have a great day of practice today.
Definitely. I definitely agree. I think it's just, I think if I'm the Miami Dolphins, I'm going to tell my tight end room, hey, listen, you guys are not going to get the bulk of the targets. However, I need you to be consistent when you do get your target, take it and run with it. You know what I mean? And that was something I kind of think turned off people like Gesicki and stuff, and it just didn't work. You know what I mean? These guys they brought in, they're very high-end blockers that also can have some catching ability. Eric Saubert, don't be surprised if he ends up catching a ball here or there, as well as Durham Smythe. I think Durham Smythe is going to be worked in a little bit more than the other guys, but I expect all of them to be consistent, to be able to catch the balls that they're given and maximize their opportunity. Listen, this is the Fins Tailgate. I appreciate everybody coming out to join the show with us.
Thank you all.
All of you, make sure you hit like and subscribe. We're trying to get on here to be more consistent. I'm putting out content. We're going to be going live. Hopefully this weekend, this Saturday, we can go live with Late Night Exhale. It's going to be one heck of a time, and we'll see where it goes. But until then, like I said, hit like and subscribe. I love you all. And with that, I have to say, fins up, everybody.